What's going on, guys? No guys here. Welcome back to another video. Now, today's video we're going to go over the 4-2-2. Now, this is a bit of a unique one because the way this one actually builds up is actually quite unique. So you do attack in that 4-2-2, but one of the CDMs kind of drops in deep, and both your left backs and right backs go forward. Why this is important, and this player here is probably the most important player, because the good thing with this formation is your left back and right backs, they provide support going forward, but sometimes you don't always want to make a back three. The benefit of using the playmaker defend, or the deep line playmaker defend, is sometimes they fill into those gaps and they occupy those roles. Have a look at some of these clips. You can see when I'm going forward, Militao moves from a midfield position and then he moves into a defense position, either covering the left back or the centre back. So that way you've got a makeshift player. It can also help with the build-up play, especially if someone with a pinged pass, they can work very, very well here. And then you have someone next to him and we have build-up. So the key thing is with this player here, Tonali, we have build up just in front of him. So you actually get this system where it's kind of like a 4-1-1-2-2, if that makes sense. So it's just one CDM in front of the other. Really, really good for bringing the ball going forward, because don't forget, most of the time, the front falls on the attack. So when you're defending, it's a normal 4-2-2, nothing special. The left attacking mids and right attacking mids, they both come back to help defend defensively. And then when you attack, of course, they go forward. You want to get better at FC25 now. Before you skip ahead, what if I told you if you don't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money? That's the nil guys guarantee. We got in-depth tutorials that are not even on the YouTube channel. We show you the theory of something and we show you gameplay examples in a structured format. We also go over real-life football examples that apply to the game and exclusive pro gameplay analysis, full gameplay analysis to elevate your game. We teach you everything from the basics to the meta. Come join at patreon.com/NeilGuys. Links down below in the description. If you don't get after 1 month, we'll refund your money. That's the Neil Guys guarantee. Links down below in the description. Compared to like a 4-4-2, they're a bit more centralized. I really like it because when the fullbacks do push up and they do go forward, it kind of pushes them inside. So although you don't have inside forwards, they're positioned in a better place. For the two strikers, I have advanced forward and poacher plus plus for both of them. I think poacher plus plus is one of the best playstyles, very underrated. No one really uses it. And I always say one advanced forward, one poacher. You kind of get that unique movement where you have someone running behind and someone trying to hold their line almost. So I really, really like that. And the left back and right back, I have them both on fullback balanced. To be honest, if you're feeling a bit, let's say you're very strong defensively, you don't mind players committing forward, I would even say go towards even using wing backs. So if you do feel comfortable, I think you can definitely go with wing backs. The only thing I would say is watch out with counterattacks. Even, for example, when these players are on fullback balance, like over here, I'm going to insert a clip right now. You can see how sometimes when you're caught out of possession, you need to run back in time. So what's very, very important is that you do have players here that have got pace. I'm talking about 85 plus minimum sprint speed without a chemistry style. So ideally have good pacey players here. So if you do make a mistake, you're able to recover. That's what's very, very important. In terms of the attacking stance, the reason why I like it as well is everyone is close-knit together. You can have those tiki-taka plays, especially you've got players like Wanyeri, who's got the tiki-taka play style. I've got both Rashford and Ranieri. The most important things in both these two positions, I would say probably the most important thing is you need to make sure these players are quick, because although they look like they're very centralized, they're not playing like central cams. They're almost playing like wingers, not as wide, but just think of them like inverted wingers. That's the way you got to look at them. So do bear that in mind. Now, when you're defending, one thing I wanted to mention is we do have a high defensive approach. Now, you should be leaning towards using a high defensive approach very early on in January when the patch came out. I want you to be a bit passive because people are getting destroyed in behinds. By now, you should have adapted to the patch. I think high pressure is better. I think as long as you know how to defend and you've got the right players, you're not using Hierro and centre back. Look, you can use Hierro and centre back, but the better skilled player you are, you'll get away with a lower pace player. The lower division you are, in fact, I'd probably say like, if you're like Division 3 and above, you should really use 90 sprint speed because you're going to be making mistakes. At least you got the best chance of recovering. Players like, you've seen the Kundes, the Maldinis, the Eder Militaos, those new special cards, they are very, very good. For the build-up style, we've gone with counter. So we win the ball back, we then end up countering. One thing you do not change it. This is very, very important. This is left on counter. Don't change this or this will ruin the formation. Normally I can say you can change the balance. On this one, I would not recommend it. What you could do for the defensive approach, though, is you can change it. You can reduce the. So let's say, for example, you don't want to be aggressive, then you can go towards 50. At least that way, that will give you a bit of a balance where you're still high enough to apply pressure. As I've always said, formation with two CDMs are always the best. That is why the 4-2-1-3, the 4-2-2-2, the 4-4-2, the 4-2-3-1, any of those formations that have two CDMs, they work very, very well, especially because CDMs that sit closer to defend, and it's easier for you to defend because you have a back six. You know, when you use a formation like a 4-4-2 flat, you have center mids that sit higher, beautiful for pressing, but if you're up against someone the same level as you, you can get destroyed in behind. That's why I always say it's a high level tactic. For the two CDMs, I've just gone with two dynamic CDMs. They can both pass. Both Militao and Tonali have the pinged playstyle plus. That is very important for bringing the ball forward. As I mentioned, when you're attacking, you kind of have this system where you have the Militao kind of roams a little bit in between the back line, and the benefit of Tonali is that he also occupies the space in front. So I like it because instead of the two center CDMs being like this, one's in front of the other one, and can be better for build-up play. Try it. You actually be very, very surprised. And the reason why I like it as well is if these players do go forward, then Militao can sometimes drop to make that temporary back three. So not only do you have someone you can pass the ball to and go move the ball progressively forward, you have someone as a backup player that can recover. So I've personally gone here with Militao and Tonali. Both have got 88 sprint speed on a minimum, and then they both have the ping playstyle plus, even better for Militao. One thing I would say is, look, if you're really struggling, and let's say, for example, you don't like that system, you can even go forward to using both or holding two CDMs. I've actually tested both. I just randomly thought of the idea one day, what if I had one player in front of the other one? Because I found that when I had two strikers going up against my two CDMs, I was getting pressed too much and never had an outlet strategy. And I think when you have your left back and right back going forward, sometimes you don't need two players in the middle. I'd rather have one player in front of the other one to kind of emulate that, remember that 3-5-2 system where the player sits more forward. So I can always trigger a player forward, or Tonali in that case will be the player going forward. But of course, you can always use holding CDM, or if you are really struggling, you can put your left back and right backs on defend. But I think at this stage of the game, you shouldn't be struggling with that. Anyway, that is the tactics, as you can see, for the second variation of this. If you want to, tomorrow's video, I'll go through different variations, different examples. But for now, you can copy that code if you really want to use it, and you can experiment half wingers if you want to. Anyway, guys, that is the tactics for the 4-2-2. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace.